Tensions between Washington and Beijing have once again come into the spotlight after two senior U.S. senators made a high-profile trip to Taiwan, a move that China has sharply condemned. The visit underscores the growing competition between the world's two largest powers and highlights how Taiwan remains a central flashpoint in U.S. China relations. The senators, Roger Wicker, who heads the Senate Armed Services Committee, and Deb Fischer of Nebraska, landed in Taipei on Friday. Their agenda included talks with President Lai Ching-te and other senior Taiwanese leaders. According to the American Institute in Taiwan, which functions as Washington's unofficial embassy, the discussions were focused on regional stability, U.S.-Taiwan relations, and future economic cooperation. Senator Wicker emphasized that democracy cannot be taken for granted, stressing that America's support for Taiwan is part of its broader commitment to global peace. In his remarks to President Lai, Wicker said their visit was intended to better understand Taiwan's concerns and to reinforce the U.S. Congress's message of commitment and long-term friendship. Senator Fischer echoed those views, saying that the visit carried symbolic weight at a time of global uncertainty. She noted that the conversations would cover not just security, but also trade opportunities and Taiwan's role in shaping a stable and prosperous Indo-Pacific region. Beijing, however, reacted swiftly and strongly. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo Jiaquan said the visit undermines China's sovereignty and territorial integrity and sends a gravely wrong signal to separatist Taiwan independence forces. China maintains that Taiwan is an inseparable part of its territory and opposes any official exchanges between Taipei and Washington. This is not the first time China has objected to U.S. lawmakers visiting Taiwan. Similar protests followed Nancy Pelosi's landmark trip in 2022, which led to large-scale Chinese military drills around the island. Analysts at Reuters and the New York Times note that Beijing sees such visits as emboldening Taiwan's government, while Washington frames them as routine gestures of democratic solidarity. Military cooperation remains a sensitive part of the relationship. The U.S. is Taiwan's largest arms supplier, providing F-16 fighter jets, Patriot air defense systems, and modern tanks. According to the Wall Street Journal, these sales are seen in Washington as essential to help Taiwan deter any potential military action from Beijing. China, however, views them as a breach of past U.S. commitments under the One China framework. Despite the criticism, the U.S. has steadily expanded defense cooperation with Taipei. Pentagon officials argue that Taiwan's defense is central to preventing instability in East Asia, especially as China's military modernization accelerates. Beijing has repeatedly warned that it will not rule out the use of force to achieve reunification with Taiwan, a threat that keeps the issue at the heart of U.S.-China tensions. The timing of the senators' visit also comes as Washington and Beijing remain locked in disputes over trade, technology, and influence in the Asia-Pacific. Since Donald Trump launched a trade war in 2018, relations have struggled to recover fully, and Taiwan continues to be one of the most sensitive triggers in the rivalry. President Joe Biden's administration has also deepened ties with Taiwan, approving new arms packages and sending regular congressional delegations. Taiwan's leadership has welcomed these gestures. President Lai thanked the senators for their visit, saying that strong bipartisan support from the U.S. sends a powerful message to the international community. He highlighted that Taiwan is not only a democratic partner, but also a vital player in global supply chains, particularly in the semiconductor industry. At the same time, China has tried to increase diplomatic pressure on Taiwan by persuading smaller nations to cut formal ties with Taipei.